Good evening, everybody. This is Mike. Um, I had a discussion today with some friends of mine, and they were expressing their opinion about the Black Panthers, what they were taught that it was. I know what it was because I was a part of that, but me explaining it to them wouldn't do any good. So I'm tell you what we're going to do. Now you know that most things in the government, we live in a whitewash world, and good things are many times demonized because they're too effective. So I'm gonna let the machine tell you what is the actual facts. Okay, as far as it knows, and it's kind of hard. It's refreshing to find out that we have information that can get past the propaganda lies. So we're gonna go with this together. I didn't know it was gonna come up. I just asked the question: what it knew about the Black Panther and who was against them and what were they about.
Image the Black Panther Party, originally the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, was one of the most misunderstood and deliberately misrepresented movements in U.S. history. Here's a clear, grounded breakdown of who they were, what they stood for, and who worked against them. Number 1. Who they were. Origins and leadership. Founded in 1966 in Oakland, California by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. Young, politically educated black men responding to police brutality, systemic racism, economic exploitation, influenced by Malcolm X, especially self-defense and political clarity, anti-colonial movements in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. They were not a street gang. They were a revolutionary political organization with structure, discipline, and ideology. 2. What they stood for, core beliefs. The 10-point program. This was their political backbone, calling for 1. Self-determination for black communities. 2. Full employment. 3. Decent housing. 4. Education that teaches true history. 5. An end to police brutality. 6. Exemption from military service. 7. Fair trials. 8. Freedom for black prisoners. 9. Land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. This wasn't abstract theory. It was a direct challenge to U.S. power structures. What they actually did. Reality versus propaganda. Despite being painted as violent, their day-to-day work was community survival. Free breakfast for children program, fed tens of thousands of kids. Free health clinics, including sickle cell testing. Liberation schools, armed police patrols, legally observing arrests to deter abuse. These programs were so effective that the U.S. government later adopted similar ones without credit. Armed self-defense, the most distorted part. Panthers legally carried firearms. California law allowed open carry at the time. Purpose: deter police violence, protect black communities. They did not advocate random violence or attacks on civilians. Ironically, after Panthers exercised this right, gun laws were quickly changed. The Mulford Act was passed specifically to stop black people from carrying guns. 5. Forces that worked against them. FBI and COINTELPRO. The biggest enemy was the U.S. government itself. Federal Bureau of Investigation labeled them the greatest internal threat to the nation. COINTELPRO was used to infiltrate chapters, spread false rumors, create internal conflict, frame members, encourage lethal police raids. Open quote, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover explicitly targeted the Panthers for destruction, close quote. Police and state violence. Raids often happened at dawn. Members were killed in their sleep. Most infamous case, Fred Hampton, assassinated in 1969 by Chicago police with FBI coordination. This was not law enforcement. It was political assassination. Number 6. Media smear campaign. Media portrayed Panthers as violent extremists, anti-white, criminal. Their community programs were intentionally ignored. Fear was manufactured to justify repression. This tactic has been reused against many movements since. Number 7. Why they were really dangerous to power. The Panthers educated the masses, united poor black communities, built coalitions with poor whites, Latinos, and anti-war groups, exposed contradictions in American democracy. They threatened capitalism, white supremacy, state monopoly on violence, the myth of U.S. moral authority. 8. How the party declined. Constant arrests and legal harassment. Internal divisions, often provoked by infiltration. exile or imprisonment of leadership, assassinations. By the mid-1970s, the party had largely dissolved, but its impact did not. 9. Their legacy today: inspired, community-based activism, cop watch programs, mutual aid networks. Their breakfast program influenced modern school meals. Their critiques of policing are now openly discussed. Many ideas once called radical are now called common sense. Bottom line: the Black Panther Party was not a hate group, not anti-white, not random violence. They were politically conscious, community-focused, system-challenging. They were destroyed because they were effective, not because they were wrong. If you want, I can. Break down their ideology.
Okay, so now you got the facts. And you see the same thing now. The government and everything else, they do the exact same thing now. They demonize anything that gets in their way. In other words, they do whatever they want to do, wrong or right. And then if you challenge them, they will kill you. They will, let's put it this way, they will unalive you. You will end up unalived. Not only that, I mean, assassinations is not shocking, or any of those things are not shocking. Not saying that all government is bad. But how, I mean, J. Edgar Hoover targeted them only because they were waking people up to the truth and making them and bringing people together. And because power dies when people learn the truth. The only reason power stays in power is because of the lies that they spread and the propaganda they spread, and it keeps people always against each other. Divide and conquer, and that's what they're doing with all of you. They want to divide everybody. They want everybody hating everybody, so nobody can ever get together and do anything. So, wake up. America is not the greatest country in the world. It never was. You're just too stupid to know it. You don't know your history. That's why they keep whitewashing, and that's why they whitewash history and they erase history. Because if you know your history, it's going to become a realization of what this country is and what it's done. This country could be great, but you can't be great and ignore what you've done. Because if you ignore the history and erase it, you're going to repeat it. The only way you won't repeat it is if you acknowledge what you've done wrong and then change it. But if you don't know you've done it wrong, you're going to do it all over again. Common sense. Like I said, many of us don't have common sense. We're not thinking for ourselves anymore. Most of you take the average one, he just repeats what he hears. The biggest dummy in the world is a person who listens to a dumb person, then you repeat what they say without checking it out yourself. Now you just verify their dumbness. You co-signed your name on it. Now you're dumber than he is because you took what he said and you repeated it. We've lost the ability to do research in this country. You remember back in the past we used to say, it's got to be true because it's on the news. And the news is the biggest liars in the world. Because, I can get you to say whatever I want. All I do put money in your hand. Pay you, you do what I want. You say what I want. Especially if you're getting that real big money, because then you don't even care if people know you lied. Look at Fox News. They spread lie after lie after lie after lie. Anything that Trump needs them to do, they will do. Anything that they're a Republican propaganda paper, or not a paper, but news. I remember when I was growing up, one of the things they taught me, there was these little places, little pubs that would be all around town, and then you see at the bottom of it, Fox News. I was taught very early. Anytime you see that Fox News written on a pub, why would news be advertising? That was a place of white supremacy. That is a white supremacist organization. Stay the hell out of it. Didn't know that, did you? This is years back. It's been that way. And it hasn't changed. They just started realizing that one of those places and they took it down. because someone called them out on it. We know what that means. Why don't you just put a swastika on the front door? It means this exact same thing to us. And they realized they were losing a lot of customers. But that's what happened when you got. Oh, by the way, yesterday was my birthday, 72. I'm not bad. Very good birthday. So you have a good day. I'm going to do another video for the nights out. Another conversation. I love having conversations with people because I love to find out where people's minds are. It makes me know if I want to put an X or a check mark. You know, now I think I got to cut this and I can't be friends with this one no more. But you pass that one. You know, I ain't gonna hurt nobody, but I can damn sure stay away from you. That's the one thing we can give Trump. We brought a lot of the racists out of the closet. Now we know who they are. If you voted for Trump, you're a racist. That's it. I have really nothing to do with you. I mean, I know people that voted him like, okay, fine. Now I know where your mind is. And if you still support him, there's no way you can't say you're not a racist. Because he brought it all out. He even brought you out. He bent you over, greased you up, and put you out there. Have a good day. Oh, by the way, if you like my content, give me a like. I'd like to know what you think. You know, comments are welcome, and share it if you want to. That'll be good. And you can subscribe. Okay? Thank you. Appreciate you. Bye.